Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Artists United Network.
Artists United Network. I'm about to The Daily Dirt with Dustin Diggs. The Daily Dirt with Dustin Diggs.
All right, welcome to a special edition of the Daily Dirt with Dustin Diggs. My good friend Chuck Pfouz is here. Hey. That is the Maximum Exposure Fashion Series. Hot off coming from Nashville to Justice for Medusa. Let me cut to that right here. We got Mr. Keenan Sarge as my co-host tonight.
Y'all know what it is. How y'all doing?
And you introduced your pretty model, Chuck, but you know what? I forgot the name coming down the steps, so...
She goes by CC.
CC is here, folks.
I like that.
She was in the show.
Yeah, so Chuck has a lot to tell us. I don't know if we'll get that exclusive on the last interview we had.
Oh no.
We'll make it. This is just a fun podcast.
Yeah,
tonight,
I want to
folks.
talk about the show.
I wasn't want to do.
We're gonna talk about the show and not all the fun little drama.
House of Chuck magazine.
Yes. So
maybe we'll throw a little drama in there. You know, we gotta give the audience something to.
And make the podcast juicy.
Yeah.
You know me. I've always been good TV. You know,
you are good TV.
Mm-hmm,
You do get the ratings when Chuck comes on. It does get the ratings here at the Daily Dirt. So
well, that's because people expect something, so we got to give them something. You know what I mean? But we always have a lot to give. Look, we have new jewelry, we have new headpieces.
Yes,
new commercial.
We got candy.
We always have something new. You know, that's why I like coming on here. To be honest with you, we have 2 hours to talk about it.
Yes,
you know, we don't always get. Not a lot of interviews give that. I mean, you're lucky to get. Sometimes you're lucky to get 5 minutes on Fox.
Well, right. Well, I know you do a radio. Well, you do a radio interview, and then they pre questions. And then I don't know. It just seems so rehearsed.
I know. I did one for iHeartRadio last week. When it was like the Monday after the show or something like that, and it was like 20 minutes long, and I thought it was going to be longer than that. But I mean, yeah, he had all his questions pre-recorded, but he was able to really kind of dig a little deep, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's good. Well, that's good. I'd love to be on the. I think being on the radio would be a fun thing.
It ought to be a lot of fun. Depending on the station, though.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm always on the radio. I love it. It's just the they have all different things that they like to do on the radio, and they like you to participate. It's fun. It's really engaging, and it's engaging with the audience.
Because would it be like a difference between podcast and radio? I mean, I know they're the same, but would it be like just a different in
not
the
really
style or?
Not really. It's pretty much the same thing now. Everything's kind of gone digital. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. It's pretty much the same thing. I mean, pretty soon we're gonna be knocking satellites out and doing it ourselves. You know what I mean?
So I was on the radio a few times through call from one station I listened to years ago. It was fun, but I actually want to be in studio one day, but I had to wait for that moment.
Well, I want to show the trailer to the Justice for Medusa, kind of get the audience a feel of the fashion. If you weren't able to go down to Nashville the last couple weeks, here it is. So I'm going to play it for the audience here.
Myself right. That's right. Okay. I like how you got good names.
I don't like seeing too much of the same thing.
Right.
Our girls.
December 13th, 2020.
Okay, virtual show, yes. So that's so if you weren't able to be there in person, you're gonna have a virtual show that they can watch it on December 13th. So I saw a lot of faces I know in there. So kind of talk about, you're on the show before, talk about how this kind of came about that you went down to, what's that building called in Nashville? It was
the Parthenon.
Parthenon, yes.
Yeah, it's a museum. It's an exact replica of the Greek Parthenon over in Athens.
Okay.
And, so you can't even find that over in ancient Greece. You know, a replica that I mean, like that.
Right.
So you got to travel all the way to Nashville to find something
Well,
like
nothing in
that.
St. Louis to look like that. That's,
I know, right?
Yeah.
So I was making jokes
Let's
like
go to the
that.
library.
I was laughing like the whole I was cracking jokes like that the entire time. It was so funny.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, it was like probably the most. I mean, it was the best show that I ever did. It's about dealing with trauma. It really came about from kind of me confronting my demons this year. I wrote a book and I had to face a lot of things that I think I had kind of forgotten about. You know how people never let you forget things, and they like to walk up to you and remind you of things, and then you have to go and relive all of that all over again. So a lot of like some of the things that I'd been through, like some very traumatizing things that I've been through, sort of came back to me, and I had to channel all of that somehow. And you know, I've been to conversion therapy, so I have a fear of going to a psychiatrist. So I just talked to a lot of my friends, and they helped me through it. And a lot of those friends, of course, are in this fashion show. You guys were all really by me. My friends were all by me throughout this whole show, and they knew what they were in for. They were helping me confront my demons, and they were also confronting their demons as well. Because a lot of people relate to this whole sort of being a victim of a sexual crime and then having to go and face your abuser, the person who did these things to you, and then having to go on, and then everybody has their opinion of you and stuff like that, and it just turns you into these sort of monster-like creatures. That is pretty much what happened to Medusa. That's what the story mythologically means, is she was a victim, and then she was condemned. They cursed her, and she's seen to the world as this horrid creature or whatever. And then the turning to stone, I mean, these are just things that people obviously made up, because obviously you can't, there's no such thing as being able to turn anybody to stone. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nothing ever human documented anyway.
But you were talking, I think, on the last podcast, when you watch films, they show Medusa as more like a villain, but what you did, you showed her, as a victim, and
who rises as a warrior and becomes a queen.
Right.
Queen of the Gorgons. And then we break her curse. She lives. She does not die. She gets her head chopped off and gets her returned to the head of her head is returned to the temple of Athena, and she lives. She manifests. And if you look at, I don't think you can see it here, but there's if you look at the breastplate of Athena, there's a head of Medusa on there, and it looks like she's coming out of her. And so it's I want to people have heard different stories of the legend, but I wanted to believe that by returning her head to the temple of Athena, which has never been done before in any of the movies or in history, by returning her head to the temple of Athena, her curse is broken and Medusa lives. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's just a curse.
Sounds like a lot of stories, compared to Greek mythology, especially with movies. But I know they're not gonna be accurate, but with real story, you guys should go there. There's always that artifact where you can,
in Clash of the Titans, it was about Perseus and Andromeda, and the story of Medusa, it's about Perseus and his mother.
I remember Andromeda story. I remember that one.
Okay, but that's not the real story. That's not the real story. If you watch all the documentaries and you read all the stories, that's not what really happened.
Right.
Perseus was trying to save his mother from being married off. His mother was the daughter of a king, and then he feared his own death. He feared that his daughter would give birth to a son, and his son would overthrow his kingdom. And so he condemned her to a tower, and that's where she remained, and until she gave birth to, until Zeus visits her she in the shower, and of course the story of the golden shower, and then she becomes pregnant with Perseus, and then you're looking at a tower, and then the king is looking at the tower, and he's seeing a light on, and he's seeing that she's still alive and stuff like that. Why is she alive? Because she's being protected by the gods. Perseus is being protected. Everybody's being protected, and then he casts her out to sea, and then legend has Poseidon protects them, and then they end up on an island, which is where Perseus grows up.
Is that strings?
Oh, I was like,
that's strings.
Yeah,
is that strings?
Strings?
Yeah, string. The EMD string or EMB strings.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, dude, shout out.
Yeah.
I haven't had doing in a while.
Yeah, I wanted him in my show. I've known him. This is like my 5-year anniversary of working in the fashion world. So all these people who were in the show have been around for a while. Her too. She was there
Well, let's get you talking a little bit because I don't want you to be quiet over here.
She was there the night I came into the fashion world.
Yeah, I was like really young. Like I think I was like 21. I think 21.
You don't even look 21 now. Yeah.
Same
I'm
here.
25 now.
Okay.
We got some age on
Oh, lucky.
But yeah, I started out like pretty much fresh out of high school and just building myself up and learning from this experience too. Like everybody was literally going on and basically just kind of fighting their own internal battle that they had going on. So like I had my little deal. It was mostly like school and getting done with that, starting my career, being taken serious as like a young woman, and like same with the abuse and message with that. Like I thought it was a good message to women because I felt empowered.
Yeah. How did you and Chuck meet?
Oh, we met. So I think we met at a fashion show. Yeah. I was in I think it was Courtney J. Her fashion show at the time. Yeah. That was the first time we worked together, and then I seen him after that, like everywhere.
Yeah, and then don't forget, you got me booked at a lot of places too. Let's not leave that out. You would recommend me to a lot of business
without even realizing it.
Yeah, that people would ask for a photographer, and she'd give them my name, and her name was mentioned a lot.
It's amazing how you kind of just meet and kind of like connect and bond and help each other out.
Well, we would see each other out all the time, and then after a while, I didn't see her, But I mean, the pandemic and stuff like that. But she would reach out to me about our shows, and these three main individuals, her, Devin Veal, and Indigo, all three of them would always reach out to me about my shows. The problem is we were all either casted, or we were already like in the middle of a show, or we were had already passed. Something had come in play. So whenever we started working on after we wrapped the Egyptian show, they reached out to us right away, and they signed up right away and stayed with us all the way up until it ended. So it took about a year, but I mean that's how long it takes, for our shows to. You see what we do. I mean,
it's a theater. It's almost like a theater play. I mean, it really is.
Well, look at this. I mean, look, we have this beautiful.
That's like a really nice building.
What statue is that?
It's a statue
like
of Athena.
I'm gonna say it's like the shield
but
and staff.
You couldn't ask for anything more. Look at all those beautiful gold, art pieces of the different, gods and goddesses. You couldn't have asked for anything better. And then the posts in the background, and I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful. So you got to create something grand to kind of fill that with. You know what I mean? All that's just absolutely beautiful. And so, like I said, as soon as I saw it and I saw that head on that shield and on that breastplate, I was like, okay, we have a story. You know what I mean? And so after that, we just started building around that story, and then that's how we came up with all the stuff. This is just one headpiece. Of course, we had a ton of headpieces. You'll see them throughout the show.
Now, I think the first time when I met you guys, you did the whole Egyptian thing.
Yeah.
Which I would definitely give you a compliment and credit on that. Like, I like how you were definitely like in theme and you want these people in character. And, it's not like we're just looking at just a fashion show, but we're looking at a story within fashion and the culture. Like the character development is pretty amazing, honestly.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I just feel like, fashion, in my shows, fashion should have a purpose. Fashion should tell a story. And that's what our main goal is to really bring these stories to life. And, like, look at this. This is where you first see Medusa as a cursed, victim. You know what I mean? What happens after Athena curses her and, she falls to the ground. And then this is my favorite scene in the whole entire show, by the way.
So it's kind of like a Beauty and the Beast type thing.
No, not at all.
But no, I'm saying like when the Beast gets cursed. Like when the Beast gets cursed.
It doesn't feel like it's Disney to me, Keenan. I don't know.
No. And this actually happened in real life. I was actually going through a lot in my real life, and Lydia went in there and rescued me. And all three of these women actually went in there and rescued me. And so, like, this is a very, like, real life moment for me. And so when I saw it, like, every time I see it, and I see the pictures too, and like you see that snake just looking over them as she's being cursed, and like it's just so powerful. And if you see in the pictures too, I mean, they're just absolutely beautiful, aren't they? And
talk about the three ladies there. Do a little shout out. We got LA there.
Yeah,
CC on the
and then this is April
Look
Flowers.
at that.
Naturally evolving women. I mean, look at that dress. Isn't that just amazing?
Yeah.
I shopped. I looked all over to find a dress that could, that would just suit Medusa.
And that's on the colors.
Yeah, those headpieces are amazing. We have one here. We'll show here right now. So here, let me let's go ahead and
But like
do a little overhead cam and
yeah.
pop in second there. All
There we
right.
go.
There we go.
Just hold that up to the
Oh,
camera
that's
up
so
here.
cool.
Yeah. Well, we
Yeah.
do okay.
This
Meg.
one. You were.
This
It's
one.
yours.
This was, yeah.
I know.
Okay. I thought this was the
I know
other
you're
one up
familiar
first.
with her.
There. Oh,
Where are we?
you got to go. Here, can't get it. Be careful with it. Keith.
We tried.
There. So go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Can you put it on for us? So can we do it? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Can
Absolutely.
you do a little zoom in shot, my buddy? Can you
It still has my green hair. I'm just gonna.
Now, who made this piece here, Chuck?
All right.
Let's
You
do-
want to look up her name?
This piece.
Yeah, we can do
Okay,
that.
we taking this off.
I can spell, right? But yes.
No, I'll find it. It's on my Instagram.
Okay, yeah, just send it to me. Yeah, the link. All right, get that shot, Keen. How we looking? Oh, here it is.
Her name is Simmons Creations. She's in South Illinois. She's really amazing. She has an Instagram page too.
There we go. I'm just gonna take off the glasses too.
Hot.
There we go. Here's what we wore. It's on
What
right.
was it against Sims? What?
Okay, there we go.
Oh,
I feel
here,
it
I'll give
now.
it to you.
I feel it. It's
There we go, folks. Look at that.
Here you go.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you.
No problem.
All the snakes on there.
Yeah, and it was just, I mean, the whole entire story development, you know, we had a script, everything. We wrote everything out in detail. I mean, I wrote, didn't I? It was pretty detailed, wasn't it? You guys knew pretty much every move.
Like, you put a lot of time into, like, every scene.
Yeah.
That is a cool headpiece.
Yeah.
How many snakes are on there? It looks like there's 5 snakes.
I think six.
That's
I
5.
want to say six.
Six. Well, 6.
I'm pretty sure one of them
6
is hitting
snakes
somewhere.
too many for me.
And you know, throughout the show, as her powers grow, the snakes grow more, and she gets older. You know what I mean? And Medusa is the only member of her family who is mortal. Everybody else is immortal.
And
like I was trying to say, I was trying to compare.
Headpieces,
I was trying to compare it to being the beast. Like the beast got cursed, or the prince at that time got cursed, and he was a beast. But like I get the whole Medusa thing as well.
Designers as well, but she was the one who did the ones from she did one for Medusa, and there's another one. I'll give you her information too.
I would
really
just
good.
love to go in public wearing these hats.
I know.
I would.
Oh yeah.
Because, like,
I would wear that one because why not? It has the horns.
She put a lot of work into that one she did for Medusa. It lasted. We worked on it. We designed it for about 6 months before she actually got finished with it.
oh, I need to add her
Like, the one with the
too.
horns.
Yeah, that's so cool.
I know it was a lot of work but she wanted to. She knew what it was for. All the people, and like we have so many. If we were to actually put the actual vendors in our show of who actually contributes, it would be endless. I mean, it's a huge. We have so many connections who contribute to our show, and each show they expand even further. We have people reaching out to us.
So how long did it make to take that one?
She already had those already made, so like I just ordered them. So I don't know. I really don't know. But the only thing she asked me about was the paint, so she made this one kind of goldish and copperish, and then the other one was silverish, the one that Lydia was wearing.
So I do need horns like that for a character I want to do. I like the
They
curve.
did, and
like
they did have horns too. That's why I was really adamant about Medusa earning her horns, because you forget she turns into this creature. I just wanted to make sure that I wanted to make the curse evolve over time. You know what I mean?
Right.
As her powers grew, the more she turned people to stone, the older she got, the more the snakes matured. All of that. I just wanted to give her more of a full life. You know what I mean? Somebody that aged into her 60s and 70s, and it opens up so much more room for, you know, if any of these characters, if Danielle or any of them want to go back and revisit Medusa in a different way, like in a film or in a commercial or something like that. And even other models have borrowed the headpieces and created photo shoots and stuff like that. I recommend that, you know, anybody who's ever been a victim, such as Medusa, she's a symbol of protection. Everybody should be allowed to wear Medusa, and just, you know, and she's everywhere anyway. But I just wanted to give her, there's something, you know, it's just like Betty Boop. There's a story behind her. I wanted to tell that story. This show and her story related to me more than the other ones did. I've been stolen like Betty Boop. I've been in a position of power like Cleopatra. But with Medusa, I understand what it's like to be, you know, like publicly humiliated and spat on. You know, it's like that's what it feels like when these days they just do it on social media. They don't even bother to even touch you in person or whatever. And Like back in my day, man, we duked it out. You know what I mean? You know, first person, you know, first blood. You know what I mean?
Well, that who's doing it too. A lot of people are like hidden snakes, I would say. On
Yeah.
Facebook.
You got a lot of those
Hide
out
behind
there.
Could make an
screen.
account and just go and say
Right,
whatever.
all these fake accounts. Yeah.
And you know, and I'm against cyberbullying.
Those are pussies.
Yeah.
It
For
makes me angry
real,
seeing
like,
something
meet
petty
me
like
outside.
If you're gonna be more bold, if you're gonna be bold enough to kind of get on somebody, do it the right way. I mean, at least show your face, so that way we know who to
Meet me
ridicule afterwards.
outside.
I mean,
Exactly.
if we're going to cast people from St. Louis, I know some snakes.
Keenan,
that. Oh yeah, definitely,
some
and that's what
snakes.
this was about. Was snakes.
Keenan, yes.
That's what this was about. This is about that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And there are snakes out there, and you know, with this, I love this mask.
Yeah, here, let's. Can Keenan wear the mask?
See,
go
see,
ahead.
see, if I had to be anything, I'd be more like.
Don't get overexcited, Keenan.
I mean, I'd be more the little python. I'd be like, yeah.
And that's what it was. Like you saw this beautiful Egyptian kingdom, which is like House of Chuck magazine, and then it was invaded by snakes and by you know, like look at the moss on that, look at the detail and stuff like that. Invaded, you know, and you know how people
Yes.
You know how people are when you know they hear things about you, they distance themselves from you, they don't want to work with you and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's.
It looks cool.
It's like real. It's like really on my eyes too.
People
Yeah.
probably
Look at
can't
her.
see on
Look
this
at this.
camera, but
Look.
the detail that's
Isn't that
in these
amazing?
words, yeah.
She was amazing.
I'm a snack.
Oh, it's Nadia, right? Nadia,
No, Natalia.
Natalia. It's it. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You know her? You worked with her?
She was at the Soulful Illusion Studios for
Oh,
some
okay.
kind of. She was on the Monday model thing.
Okay,
Megan.
that could be Meg from Hercules. I don't know. It's just the dress and the hair.
Oh, I know. She's always in my shows. They always stay with me. You know what I mean? They just love, they love what we do.
Yeah.
They're in it for the thrill, not for anything else. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna be a gladiator.
What's he gonna do next? That's what they think. You know.
I'm gonna be a gladiator. Like, wait, because
Well, I'm done with togas and gladiators and.
I'm just saying I could be the next Leonidas.
Like, please,
Please, Chuck.
I could be the next Leonidas.
Look, it's been about 2 years of this. I want to go do something else. I'm gonna go. Let's go back to Hollywood. Let's go back to the golden age of film. That's what we're doing next. We're doing Marilyn Monroe and.
I'm gonna say like the old cities of London.
You're going to be from back in the day, from
Eventually,
1920s.
if all that
from the
stuff,
20s?
we'll get to that stuff, the European early history and stuff like that. That's later. Okay, let me take a break from past history for a while. It's a lot. This is a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
Trauma. I've been dealing with a lot of trauma lately. Can we? Well, we're going to be dealing with Marilyn Monroe, so that's even more traumatic.
Yeah,
That's more
yeah.
on mental health.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but I mean, I still I just would like to, get away from this for a little while. I mean, I really did enjoy traveling back in time and revisiting history, though. It was so much fun. But I've been doing this for about 2 years now. I want to take a break and let's go do other things. And so here we are. The show ends kind of we're this is like the 7th season, so it takes place sort of right after the pandemic and leads all the way up until now, pretty much in the timeline. But of course, we're traveling back to ancient Greece, and of course, it takes place right after the Egyptian fashion show. So it's like you go from and we wanted that to be that sort of like you end the Egyptian show and we go to ancient Greece. We go right across the Mediterranean. You know what I mean? Only it's a year in real life. It's a year later, but we wanted to sort of connect all these shows to these two shows in particular together because there was so much more to. That show sort of represented the return of House of Chuck magazine. This represented more of the individuals who kind of helped build things and sort of help shape things into where they are today. And of course, there they are, always protecting us, always watching us. You know what I mean? And so all the women in the show were very, very much been involved in House of Chuck magazine from the very beginning. And I'm really proud of just how it all it's just a masterpiece.
Just look at these outfits here.
Oh, I know.
That one's beautiful right there. Can I see the hat? You look great on it. I just want to know if I could just. I'm not going to put up. My head's huge. I would
go
stretch.
ahead.
I
Go
would
ahead
stretch
because
it out.
this
I
is the
think.
way society is seeing you right now. You're kind of people are demonizing you and adding hatred to you. No, put it on. Put it on proudly.
All right.
Or the mask. One or the other.
I was like the mat, it gets me on the eyes, like in the corner, so weird.
I'll do one of these here.
Yeah.
Well, you know me. I can't do a show without a
Oh,
mask.
you be a big bad snake. Come on, give us a hiss.
It's a part of my alter ego. Right.
You bite me or snap it.
Well, the skulls represent kill. Like they're
yeah,
I wanted that to represent that you guys have protected before. You guys have, and the legend has it that all 3 of them were cursed.
Yeah.
So all 3 of them had the power to turn people to stone.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I just thought that was a nice touch, adding the mom in there too, and the grandmother, and all the different gods and goddesses and stuff like that. And
do you think there's some kind of symbolism behind turning to stone? Like, why stone?
Beauty.
Yeah.
Beauty.
Yeah.
I think she was so beautiful that she turned you to stone.
Made you just sit still.
Yeah.
Okay. Made you. I
want to be turned to sand.
Yeah. Made you stare at her. Made you look at her, and then you're just kind of speechless. Or maybe she.
Yeah. Maybe that's it. Yeah.
Had such a, because they said she was a priestess. Maybe she became. Maybe was their way of turning her into a witch. A lot of witches sort of look. If you watch that movie, that show Cabinet of Curiosities, that witch in there really looks a lot like the way Medusa looked in Clash of the Titans and stuff like that. Maybe that was either way, it's history's version of demonizing women.
Right.
That's the way that I saw it. You know what I mean? I just saw this innocent person being demonized in front of society, and she was cast out. You know what I mean? She was not allowed to live a normal life, and they created these stories so people would not have anything to do with her, and these stories have been interpreted throughout history in different forms. Look at the story of Lilith. She was Adam's first choice.
Man.
Adam and Eve.
Oh, okay.
And then she became the wife of the devil. That's the way history saw it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Look at all these different stories of women being demonized, and then they're being put into history books, and we're retaining this information, and then children are growing up and becoming monsters, and the parents don't know what to think. They feel somewhat responsible, but they don't. It's like, But I mean, that was my whole thing with this show is how society has the power to turn people into monsters. And so stop blaming the victim. Stop all of that. You know what I mean?
Gotta blame ourselves.
Yeah, take the time and listen. Yeah, start. Did you see the Halloween movie?
No, I did not.
The last one?
Only watched the old ones.
Oh man, if you watch it, it's really powerful. I thought it was a really good ending to this to that version of the story. There's going to be more. Michael Myers is going to live forever. These.
I was gonna say because it's being off topic, but I know they said it's supposed to be like the last Halloween. I guess.
Well, he can't live forever. You know what I mean? At this point, he's in his 60s. If we're really to make him human. And and things like that. Him and Jamie Lee Curtis are not going to live forever.
Because Jason's dead.
But Nick Castle, the man who plays Michael Myers, is not going to live forever. Jamie Lee Curtis is not going to live forever. At this point, they're in their 60s. I thought it was stretching it, bringing them back this point.
Well, they wanted
40 years later.
They just want to make money and have fun doing their old cast.
I thought it was an opportunity for her to revive her career and stuff like that. Look at all the good movie parts she's getting now, after selling Activia.
Right. She's great for yogurt. She's great for yogurt.
I love Jamie Lee Curtis. I really do, and I didn't mean that as a joke. She got to be at home with her kids and pay her bill. I'm sure she made a lot of money selling yogurt that makes you poop.
Yeah, I'll select.
I eat Activia. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I mean, if I had to really live that life where I got a franchise movie and I'm playing the same role over and over again, I'm pretty sure I can make a stopping point. At some time, can't get his name again. Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. That was his last movie with Endgame, and he'd been doing that since 2008. So with that, it kind of makes sense. But I think with Halloween, once again, I mean, it was great back then. They made some little add-ons later in 2000. Then these aren't remakes; these are just continuations.
Well, hold on, let me correct you because I'm a Halloween fan. So let me the original timeline, the original 8 movies is from Dr. Loomis's point of view. His psychiatrist who made him purely evil. The
bald head guy. No, that's a detective.
Yeah, he was in the original series too. He was that guy running around, but you don't see him as he was that original guy though.
Right.
That's what was funny about it. They actually hired him, and he was the guy dressed up. But you just never saw his face. But that's what was fucked up about all those characters in that.
I just remember it was like the detective.
Oh yeah, but so. The original timeline tells it from Dr. Loomis's point of view. The Rob Zombie series tells it from Michael Myers' point of view, and then this new series tells it from Laurie Strode's point of view. So you get all 3 different versions of the story. The next one they're going to create different timelines. But this is what they wanted to do was they wanted to bring her back and tell it from her point of view, and that's why they have all the nostalgic little snafus in it. It's like all 8 movies and the Rob Zombie movies combined into 3 movies.
Okay, now would you count 3, the Season of the Witch, or How's that even fall in? I mean, the other two, like
When you
H2O
watch
and all
it,
that.
have you seen the other 3 movies?
I haven't seen the recent
movies.
ones. No.
Okay, when you see these 3 movies, you'll see how much Season of the Witch is connected with all of it.
I'm just like, okay, there's no. I mean,
It's the mask.
I liked the Busta Rhymes.
It's
What's
the
that?
mask.
Resurrection. I get.
They take his mask off.
So that's the. I get. Comment. I haven't seen. I know I've seen that
It's the
like
mask.
snippet, but
The mask is what makes him superhuman.
Like these.
I'm just trying to see like how
back.
that actually just falls in. It's just still weird to me.
It's cursed.
'Cause I know that
You
scene.
believe curses are real,
Yeah.
and telepathic abilities are real too. I want you to keep that in mind when you watch the last.
Cece, is
video.
this you coming to the screen here?
Yep.
Snaking time.
Oh yeah.
I didn't see this.
Now, what's going through your mind when you're? I always wonder. I want to ask a fashion model that.
shitting
Like,
bricks.
I would be.
But like,
Are you like? Did I
I'll
leave
play
the
it
stove
cool.
on? You thinking that, or no? You're just thinking.
I'm just like, well, I just want to get this done.
Think this a blank
We've
room.
been there. I think like at that point we got our hair and makeup done at one of the locations we were staying at. So we get to the venue, just last minute things. So really just making sure I'm ready. Honestly, like
Yeah, we had our full team there. I
Yeah.
mean, we were just running around making sure we had everything together before we hit that start button. Because once we're on, we're on. That's when the chaos really begins.
But that's like a rush, though, right? It's almost
It
like
was.
a drug.
I
Almost like a drug, right?
I was fine. Nothing touched me. I did I freak
yeah,
out?
no, you were good. You were good. I think it was like just little stuff. We all had little stuff.
Yeah,
that's all
we
it
were.
was.
You got to remember, we were breaking a curse, so we were all
Yeah.
in for it. We all had an issue that we had to deal with. My issue was all of them. Was keeping all of them together. That was my curse. Was making sure that all of their curses were managed. Because I mean, everybody had encountered something. You know what I mean?
Mine, okay, so mine was a crazy ass journey. We'll just say that. Like, I want to thank you so much because, like, my whole experience, like, just blew my mind.
Sporadic.
But, like, really, like, okay, so I contact you early this year, you know, do everything, send you my information, and then, like, later on, we have some technical difficulties, so I wind up needing a new vehicle. Crash the whip. So I got a new vehicle. That was a whole we'll just say that's been a whole journey.
Yeah,
With the
usually
state
is. Yes,
and
it is.
everything. So I was like, let's say around October 1st, I was like really panicking because it's like, okay, well, I don't have my car registered. I'm trying to figure out how to get down here. All my family are like, okay, this is on your own time. So I had to like
Jeez.
really get my shit together.
Right.
And just did it. Like, I think I talked to Chuck around the week of and was like, okay, this situation, I'm just gonna take myself. Like, and that's what I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like an exciting time. I wish we could have gone. We just had so much with kind of transitioning here. There's some kind of stuff going behind the scenes.
Oh, it's
but-
okay. I told you. Hey, I'll bring the show to you.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, we have,
That's
we have a little
Well, you
party.
did. Yeah.
go
and
there.
here we
Love
are.
that.
I did.
Yeah.
I told you.
So
I
You
wanted
got
to
the
wrap
props.
Look, we arranged this the last time I was here. I wanted to wrap my show with you. I wanted it to be a tradition. Every time I introduce the show on here and I wrap it here.
Well, the Daily Dirt's not going away, so
Good.
Yeah, so you're always welcome, Chuck. So
Good.
yeah, I mean, I've known you for about 4 years now. So.
Yeah, I know. I cannot believe it's like yesterday. All of you guys, time really flies when you're having fun, and
Yeah.
like the last 5 years, I've been having like the time of my life, and so like, time just flew by before I knew it. It's like poof, 5 years later. You know what I mean? And that's
Yep.
what this show was about. And then the final season is my 20 years of working behind the camera.
Yeah.
And so like we created this show in 2018, and when we wrap it, it'll be 5 years. And I wanted it to be a 5-year project. And so like it's just everything is like it's just the way everything is aligned. You know what I mean? The stars are really aligned with me creating this show and us having the ability to sort of showcasing the transition from one world into another, which is like the nightlife scene, you know, the LGBTQ community, the drag world, and all of that stuff, leaving that world and going into the fashion world. And by the time season 5, season 6 comes around, you really get to see us really submerged into that world. And then here is when people start really attacking us and people start really coming after us. There's a lot of war and violence in these shows, and that's what it was representing, was us really reaching our height. I think, really coming into our own as like, really, all of us are doing great. All of us models, everybody in House of Chuck magazine is doing great and stuff like that. And so that people are jealous because they don't have what we have, or, you know what I mean? Our time has finally come and people are jealous and they're trying to hurt us and take us down and stuff like that. And that's what this season really represented, was both seasons in particular, because Cleopatra and her rise to power, like my rise to power and my rise to, fame, and, people really seeing my creativity for the first time. Right. I have been working behind the camera and taking pictures forever. Nobody ever really got to see my true talent, my full potential. And so when they watch these shows, they're like, wow, you've been, you know how to do all of this. You've been keeping this from us this entire time. You know what I mean? So I finally get to step out. I remember I was a dancer for about 2 years. And so that was the last time I ever got to really exercise that level of artistry to that fullest extent, meaning get out there on the dance floor and really performing.
I feel there's a lot of similarities between us, because what you just said is kind of like I was kind of behind the camera a lot too, and then this first time I kind of stepped in front,
Like you learn your craft and your creations.
Oh, I know, and I thank her and the girls and the fashion community with all my heart, because I had this really beautiful career filled with creativity and all of these other things besides being just a photographer. And that means the absolute world to me, because you guys don't just see me as just a photographer. You guys see me as a full-on artist. Right. And like I go and I give interviews and do all these things. Now I don't have to slave anymore. You know what I mean? I get to really kind of sit back and enjoy things and take the best opportunities and stuff like that. I don't have to sit there and do everything anymore, which is great. I get to have weekends. I get to spend time with my kids. I get to do all these things that I never got a chance to do in the beginning, because you're really working hard to try to succeed and be taken seriously. So you want to do everything in the beginning. And then later on, when you've become well known, that's when you start to take a step back and you start preserving your image. And that's what keeps ticket sales coming back. That's what keeps people interested in you. Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah, that's okay.
And things like that. And so that was where I was at. Like, I don't think I really did anything this year besides I wrote a book and did a couple of commercials, but I didn't really do anything else other than work on this show, because this show really meant something to me. It was speaking to my soul in so many different ways. They all speak to me in some way. Every time I finish a show, it's like my new favorite. You know what I mean? But it's like this one in particular, though, it felt like I was really finally coming to terms with, like, finally, I guess, getting over a lot of it's depressing to see people turn on you and to people say bad things about you. Because you want everybody to love you and you want everybody to take you seriously. And, sometimes, when bad things happen, you have to make decisions. A lot of times you make enemies in making these decisions. And, like everything I ever did was to protect me, protect what I do, protect my name, to protect my family. I don't feel like I've done really anything wrong in that sense. You know what I mean? But like other people, they just open their mouths and just say bad things, say things that are not true. That is just, I can't stand that.
The jealousy.
But they don't realize the ripple effect of what happens. And that's what, that's why what this show was about, was really about confronting demons.
I just think in certain cases, I say this myself too, there's going to be a lot of sacrifices towards, your work life and everything else. Like me, you got 2 jobs. Okay. You need me on a podcast, you need me on film, I'm going to go out and do that.
Yeah.
And, there's going to be people that you're going to lose along the way, because they're just upset at you because of you, or they're upset because it's something that they didn't have, so they want to try to poke it out on you out of jealousy and spite. It's 2022. How you expect that? But, you definitely work yourself to do greater. You definitely create yourself to see a better person in you than you never thought. Did you really think you was going to go this far? Probably not. But
no.
Yeah. No. But you work your way to that.
Yeah, absolutely. I never thought ever. I don't think I could. I don't think I could have even seen myself even doing it until probably after I did my Roaring 20s fashion show. That was really sort of when I really kicked myself into I felt like I was heading into new territory. It was like, in the story, in the actual series, I was working with them at this point. I had met Danielle, I had met Lydia. We were already I was already beginning to recover at this point, because working in the community, it's a big conflict of interest. I mean, there's a lot of haters out there, and people don't you can be as professional as possible, but not a lot of times other people aren't that professional, and people just because you don't give somebody what they want, they will go and say bad things about you, and then things have a ripple effect, and then all of a sudden they're publishing an article about me saying that I'm this, and this, and this, and this people have never met me a day in my life.
Well, we got some of that.
And for me, I draw the line after a certain point when it's putting my kids in danger, and because I just let, a lot of times all the way up until that point, I let it fly by. But when it's putting my kids in danger and my family in danger, like calling me a fucking racist and a transphobe is taking it a bit too far. And it pisses me off because I'm going to tell you something. The trans community has always had mad love for me, and they weaponized me when I was working in that community. And I tell you what, I worked with a lot of trailblazers. It pisses me off. And racism, oh my God, how dare you? Scum. Only scum would say that to me. Look at my career. Look at the people that I work with. These are people who have given me, this woman booked me for the NAACP fashion show, okay? Things like that. Don't sit there and try to come out, keep your perception of me is not my reality. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. But I mean, people actually believe these things, and they won't, they'll actually say, oh, this person told me you were a racist. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And then that's it. They just leave it at that. You know what I mean? It's like, but they put you in a position where you have to defend yourself. And it's just absolutely awful. You know what I mean? And then they take you at face value. Don't even bother to look at your work. Don't even bother to see anything know anything about you. Look into nothing like that at all. They just take their word, and it's really, and we look at social media is awful because you got one side and then another. You know what I mean?
And you had to pick which one.
Exactly.
It shouldn't be about picking sides.
Exactly.
It should be seeing the whole story through.
The truth. That's all I'm interested in is the truth.
And people are afraid of that.
People are afraid of that. But I mean, if the truth is the truth, okay? You can't just take somebody's word. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think
look at those poses real fast to Chuck though. So
I was watching.
But I think the fact that you're gonna take a lot of hits, and I can understand that. Even with people on my job, it's like, okay, you can say something to me, then I'm going to give you some clap back. So I'm not afraid to say what I gotta say on my end.
Oh yeah, but like I said, that's where I drew the line, was when my kids and my family was being put in danger, and after you could.
Right, kids are important.
Little things I can take, but I mean, when it's to the point where it's being published in articles and people are getting on social media and they're targeting my kids at school, and like I had both my kids are in private school now. My daughter is in boarding school, where is very well protected because of people like our last podcast. You know what I mean? She doesn't realize the harm that she is doing to people like me, innocent people who are just at the wrong place at the wrong time. You know what I mean? I could have been killed. There's all kinds of things that could have been happened because of the things that come out of people's mouths. But they don't care. They don't think about that. All they want to do is hurt people. You know what I mean? That's heartless. Okay? And at some point, people become inhuman.
Can people get over you so easily? Or they try to get over you for some reason?
Oh, yeah. Like
when you show up at some kind of club or something and people
say they're going to take care of you.
Somebody step on your J's.
Where's that pot, boy?
And I'm just
where's my pot? I don't have it.
God damn it. Jeez.
I lost it.
And I'm just like, and that's my whole thing too. Okay, why do you want to stir the pot even more? It's just like, why do you want to keep this going?
Because people, I think that some people are like that. Funny. I mean, some people like that, like I said, because they're jealous, but also at the same time, there are those that feel they need to be taking the high ground when you have no ground whatsoever. It's like, so it shouldn't be mad about superiority. It's bad about character.
Me and LA found this at a vintage store in Nashville. We took that as a sign.
Cause I mean, like me and Matt, like we got a few haters on our own circle.
Everybody loves me.
I
don't know what you're talking about.
I got a lot of haters there.
All right, let's look at some of this jewelry here. We got. Do we have the overhead cam? Oh yes, we do. Okay, let's always love when you bring us to cool jewelry here. I don't know if that's not really. Here, how about you put it on your wrist and show us to the audience here?
Me?
I don't know. It probably won't fit your wrist.
Yeah. I put on a few things because I found this.
Okay, so one of the clip-ons.
Over here,
we got a lot of things.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff. I mean, lots of rings, lots of. Oh, I love this bracelet.
This goes. Well, I don't know if you guys can see.
And where do you get a lot of this stuff at, Chuck?
Ancient Greece. I mean, I have some friends who buy jewelry over there, and they ship it to me, and I buy it off them for like wholesale.
It's like imports.
Oh yeah, I want the real. I mean, it's Greek. We're doing a Greek mythology fashion show. We want the real deal, right?
See, I like that authenticity.
Can you do the cam?
Well,
over here?
look, we look at the times that we live in. It has to be authentic.
Keno, zoom in on those hands of yours. Who did those nails for you? Did you do those?
Nails, my mom's close friend, Kia. Polished Arts. You can follow at Polished Arts. Those are the paint splats are actually glow in the dark. So
that ring, does it go around one finger? It's a 1 finger ring. Huh?
It's
It's like, honey, I can see your hands in the dark.
Yeah. There we go. You guys see my bling.
All right, hold some more up. You're on.
We got a clip. This you can put in your hair.
Put it in the hair. It's.
Yeah.
I'd wear that one.
This one.
No, the clip in my hair. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we got another bracelet.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this
I
fell
guess
off
this-
one of the nails.
Oh yeah. Oh, let me.
It's one of Medusa's nails.
Oh.
It fell off of him.
Oh, it fell off.
him. Yeah.
Reminds me of Never-Ending Story. I just.
I never did get into those movies. I need to watch them.
First one's good.
The first one's good. The rest of them aren't.
They're cash grabs. The other two. So.
That's what my brother told me. He was really into that stuff when we were growing up. And it never interested me. And he asked me, he's like, well, the first one was good. That's what he told me too.
Usually that's how it works.
Yeah, usually. And then,
Well, yeah, especially back in the 80s. It seemed like movies, sequels back then were just like, yeah, you never expect them to be as good. But oh, we get that one. Get that.
it's all about who the writer is.
Yep. There it is, folks.
You know, a lot of times, fans, we demand something way too soon, and we don't always have time to sit down and actually write a good story. And I had that problem too. Like I had to write stories left and right around 2019 because you guys just wouldn't get enough of us. And then finally, I had to convince everybody, look, guys, we need to slow down, and I want to do something. I want to do, I want to do something grand. You know what I mean? So I had to. That was our way of doing it. Was doing something like Egypt, which was like it took a year to develop. You know what I mean? And so, like, people were surprised that when we were posting pictures and stuff of what we were working on and releasing commercials and stuff like that, people finally mellowed out and they were like, hey, okay, it was just like people stopped demanding, a show once every couple months or whatever. They finally, it's like, when are you gonna, they're like, when's your next show and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Instead of like,
we got some comments coming in. Sorry, folks. Oh shit.
You've been all over the map today.
So, knowledge. I just asked my son about Greek mythology. He said they don't teach it. His son's in high school. That's John Thomas right there. That's crazy. They don't. I guess they don't teach it in high school anymore. Do they not?
I have no idea.
Certain classes do that, but not like in depth with it.
Yeah.
I have no idea, to be honest with you. I've been as a matter of fact, I dropped out of high school, to be honest with you. I got my high school degree online.
Oh damn.
Yeah, I didn't like my high school. The education was, I didn't like it.
Oh, if I dropped out, my mom would kill me.
My dad supported me. I had a whole plan. Like I literally paid like $1,000, took online classes, got my high school degree online.
Yeah, I wonder see. I grew up. I'm 42.
And transcripts.
They didn't have YouTube channels back then when I was a kid, so I don't know if I would.
It wasn't. It was virtual.
There was like a commercial they used to do that.
But like it was hard for me to if I had all that knowledge that I could go find on my own, I probably wouldn't finish school either.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
I was just couldn't take it anymore. I mean, like their curriculum was all wrong. I'm not good at math and things like that, and like they made it in such a way where basically it was like 20% homework and 80% tests, and I'm not the greatest test taker and things like that. So it's like it just got to the point where like it was like almost like rigged, like, and our homework was graded on completion, so they just checked our homework. If we did it, they gave us an A for it, rather than actually checking our homework and seeing if we're learning something. I wasn't learning anything in high school.
Yeah.
And so I got my high school degree online, and then I went to college, graduated, got 2 degrees in college, graduated with top of my class. But high school, there was something about high school that was holding me back.
I just don't learn in that type of setting.
Dropped out the beginning of my junior year.
I'm not going to high school.
I'm hands-on learning.
I didn't finish college. I went to Maryland for like 2 years for free.
I graduated
got a
college.
job.
I went all the way. I didn't want anybody ever looking down on me for not being educated. I wanted to have that. That was just, it was just extremely, my dad got his associate's degree, so he wanted me to get a degree that was better than his. And, it was just it was just really important to me to have that experience going to a college and meeting real adults from all different walks of life, and not the same people that you grow up with in school, and getting away from, that's what people don't, you need to leave the nest sometimes, you know what I mean? And college was really helpful for me.
Yep.
I had the time of my life in college. It was a really transitional phase for me in my life. You know what I mean?
And I think for some, and first off, proud of that one. But like, I think for people, like, college is not really for everybody. I mean, I had that.
Oh, sure.
And be honest with me, like, do you need a degree to actually get a job in certain cases?
I work in cybersecurity, so I had to have a degree. I mean, it was either certificates, and I'm not the greatest test taker in the world. I just said that. So it's like it was either tests or a degree. So my degree is enough, and in most cases, the degree gets you the interview. The rest of it, you're on your own. You have to sell your services. So, I mean, I nailed most of the interviews that I do and stuff like that. But I mean, but you have to have a degree in that field. So, but I mean, in the art world, no, I don't think any type of education at all, just at what you're good at. Like, if you need to know how to draw. And
that talent.
Yeah. I mean, I would recommend a business degree if you want to sell your stuff, I always try to recommend education. I think education is just important all the way around. But I mean, some people, some people don't need it. Like you said, I mean, college is not for everybody. I mean, it's almost like an institution almost, and some people can't stand institutions on.
Yeah. I mean,
you're stuck there for 4 years. Can you be stuck at a place for 4 years?
I'm stuck at my job for 9.
It's like, can you be stuck in a room for that long? You know what I mean? Just ask yourself. That's what I tell people. Can you be stuck in a room for that long? And whenever I graduated college, I wasn't walking away until I got my degrees, until I got my piece of paper. It was like, I'm not going to do all this for nothing.
Right.
I'm putting all this money down and all this stuff. I was determined. I showed up to every class, turning all my homework, got good grades, graduated with honors. I made sure that I was getting what I came for. You know what I mean?
I think I just went just because.
Got a good paying job, helps take care of all this stuff. You know what I mean? I knew that at the end of that road, my dreams were going to come true one way or another. All I had to do is just work hard.
Yeah.
You have to work hard. And then you get people out there, nasty people who want to take it all away from you. Go back to school, get a degree, get a good job, make some money, and do it yourself. Stop trying to tear me down. Get your shit together. Don't blame me, though. You can do this yourself. Look at me. I did it, right? I bought my cameras. I did all of it. I went out there. You know what I mean? Right? Look at you. You did the same thing.
Yeah, well, I some people like want me to do the work farm. I'm like, I taught myself how to do that real easily. Like, you can do the same thing. I'm just
right.
like,
you have the bandwidth. Do it.
Right. So, I mean, everything's there on the computer now. I mean,
Yeah.
you find
Easier than
you find a YouTube video.
I
yeah.
know.
But again, not everybody learns how to use computers.
Yeah.
These days, I'm just like, you could get your degree at the library.
Yeah.
You really could.
You can get your high school degree at the library.
Yeah. Yeah. So
who'd have thought you could just simply you could bypass middle school. You can go to school all the way up until the 8th grade, and then you can go into the library and get your high school education.
Mm-hmm.
Walk out just like that. Wow, who'd have thought?
Well, I mean, I think it's different now than it was like way back in the day, because you actually had to get your high school, then you go to college. Like, you can be like 40-some years old and you don't have your high school diploma. I mean, I don't know how people go about that now, but again, the whole education has kind of changed up.
Yeah.
Now for college, anybody can. That's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But like the high school diploma, I guess that's like the most important out of your education.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I went to school for 2 years. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I was like, okay, screw it, I'll get a job, and then something will come up later. So now, hey, I'm with the network, and I do other things. So I kind of feel maybe I should go into entertainment, or I should just go into networking. So, and I'll see how that goes out.
Right.
Going back to the fashion show here, are all these models from St. Louis? Did they all travel down there, or did you have any?
I'd
ones
say
from
probably
Nashville?
about maybe 3/4 of them were from St. Louis. Probably about 1/4 of them were from Nashville. We did do a last minute casting call and cast some Nashville models and Nashville designers too. A couple of them were Nashville designers.
Yeah.
Some of them came from St. Louis.
Well, that's very cool. So, and what's the next plans for Chuck? So I know you're talking about doing the Marilyn Monroe kind of roaring 30s,
No.
40s kind of deal.
No, Hollywood.
Hollywood. Okay.
Hollywood.
Old Hollywood.
Okay.
Old Hollywood.
Old Hollywood.
Golden era.
Golden era. Okay.
I could be Cab Calloway if I had that suit.
Like 1945 to 1960. That's the ground we want to cover because we've already did the Roaring 20s already.
What did you think of that Marilyn Monroe film that just came on Netflix?
I didn't think I wrote a review about it. I wrote a movie review about it. It was I saw the TV movie. I didn't like the TV movie either. I didn't feel like they made her life out like they made every scene out like her life was one big tragic story. I refuse to believe that. There has to be some good times.
I agree with that statement right there. I thought that too. Obviously she was a victim to a lot of stuff. Obviously a lot of shit went down, but I did feel like, I don't know, you felt sorry for her, but then you kind of like, well, you're also a movie star. You got all these opportunities and all this stuff. I don't know. I just, I don't know, but I did think the way the movie was shot was like an art film. It was really neat the way the movie was shot.
Oh yeah, it was beautifully. Oh, and the girl who played her, Ana de Armas.
Oh yeah,
she nailed her, embodied her, looked like her. I mean, she really made you believe that it was her. I mean, she just gave
she's just so not pretty. Just kidding.
Yeah.
It's a joke. I'm
gonna say Shane's gonna be mad at you for that.
I know, Shane.
But I mean, it was so. It was a beautifully done movie. I just didn't like the way that it was. I guess it showcased her. I mean, I've seen I don't know. I know a different version of her. Just all the things that I've studied about her. Right. She's was a lot smarter than the way they let on.
When they do biopics about films, like
it's not a biopic.
Well, when they show like movie about people, though, it always goes from like relationship to relationship. And I just feel like there's more to a person's story than their relationships.
Well, this is a book that was written by a person who doesn't know anything about Marilyn Monroe at all. Okay, and it like I said, it was a TV movie before. A lot of the stuff, a lot of the people who worked with her came out and said that this shit is rubbish. A lot of it is.
Right.
A lot of it is it's fetish. It's fantasized. A lot of that stuff is not real. Just letting you know the misery that Tony Curtis came forward and he said she was fine throughout the movie. She was fine. She was trying to nail it. You know what I mean? He's like Some Like It Hot.
Oh right.
He said that was ridiculous. The bogus shit that they came up with about her in that movie Blonde in the original TV movie.
Well, to get a little conspiracy theory on you, do you think that the government killed her?
I don't think so, but I don't think that they wanted any association with her death. I think that they were trying to her communication with the president, the letters that they wrote together, things like that. I think that they didn't want that connected to her death because I think that maybe they were trying to avoid scandal.
Well, do you feel like maybe with the PR you're talking about, they kind of fed that to the media about her, all that stuff you're talking about to make her image look bad, to make it seem like she really did take her own life, maybe?
I mean, it was documented multiple times that she did try to kill herself.
Yeah.
Okay, and I don't think that had anything to do with the CIA. I think that at this point, this woman had never had a foundation. Her mother was mentally unstable. She never knew her father. Her husbands let her down. All her husbands, Joe DiMaggio was jealous of her and jealous of, I think, the world around her. I think her other husband was too weak. I don't think she ever had anybody to ever really, truly guide her through life. Other than her cast members, like I know Jane Russell looked out for her a lot. I know there was a lot of people out there who did check in on her from time to time, but I just don't think that I think that she may have had demons that she may have had trouble dealing with. Like it felt like, I really truly believe that she was looking for her father all her life because she went to go visit her mother. That's really well documented that she went to visit her mother a lot in the institution.
Yeah.
So I really did think she was truly trying to find the answers. She was trying to find herself in all of this. And when they have her being portrayed as a character, I mean, Marilyn Monroe was more, in those earlier movies, she was more of a character than she was an actress. And then by the end of her life, she starts to be coming into her own. You start to get to see the real her, the Norma Jean, the actress. You know what I mean? The person, because she started taking on different types of roles, like Some Like It Hot and serious roles and things like that. There was a role that she was getting ready to play where she was a mom and stuff like that. And you know that those are the type of things. I think if she had lived, I think she would have probably been one of the greatest actresses of our time.
Yeah.
But
what's your favorite? We'll go around the table here. Marilyn Monroe movie. Some Like It's Hot's my favorite movie.
that one too, yeah, because I just felt like she was really.
It was funny.
It was more her.
Yeah, it was good.
You know what I mean? Timing, I felt like her personality was more in it. She wasn't like, yeah. I couldn't. The other movies, I couldn't stand it. Like, the way that
what's the
she was like a puppet.
What's the Diamonds one called? I forgot.
Oh, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes.
Yes, that's it.
Oh, I remember watching an interview on watching Gloria Steinem go on there and talk about how she really kind of shamed that movie because of how women were being showcased in that film or whatever, and making them out like they did things for money and stuff like that. That's not the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so like. That's just, but that's the way the world was back then. That's the way things were being portrayed on screen or whatever. But that's not really the way the world is.
Do you think anybody can be a big movie star anymore? You think that's possible?
Yeah.
You don't think it's
in this decade?
In this world? Go ahead.
Oh no, because like you got stuff like you got Instagram now.
Well, I think Jessica Chastain is a big movie star.
Hard.
I think.
Other outlets.
There's a lot of good movie stars.
I would say like
YouTube?
Tom Cruise is the last movie star. Like I just like if you look at Top Gun, that thing was like huge.
Jamie Lee Curtis is a movie star.
Yeah, but I'm talking like
iconic.
Pulls in like
she is iconic.
You put the name on it, it's going to get
curious.
$100 million. The film just because his name's on it above the title, or her name.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
He will, and he will. He'll be fine.
Danny
He'll bounce
DeVito.
back. Danny
DeVito?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Man.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. Jesus, Keenan.
I forgot the other one though. Jeez. You talking to me?
Joe Pesci?
No, you talking to me?
Oh, Robert De Niro.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
But Robert De Niro's a great actor, but he's just like, if you look at all the movies
He's
in the last
playing the
20
same
he's-
character.
It's oversaturated. It's like so
It
many
is.
things. Yeah.
Norm
Yeah.
Macdonald.
Norm Macdonald's no longer with us.
Is he?
Yeah, he
Like
passed
last
away
year?
like 2 years ago.
Did he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. Jerry Steeler.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the past.
I just think that there's just so many outlets and so much streaming things. I just don't see a huge movie star. That's just my own opinion, though. I guess.
Really?
Yeah. I just I don't know.
Are you going off like just range or like what they can do?
It's just that their name on that movie is going to pull in $100 million just because that name is on that movie. It doesn't matter what the movie's about, kind of deal. So, but that's
I can fight that.
okay. Well, it's
I'm shocked that Tom Cruise. I mean, it's just like how they destroyed his reputation with all those South Park movie videos and stuff like that. I mean,
I know, but still, it doesn't. But
Tom Cruise, he's Tommy.
yeah. So
yeah.
Top Gun, Mission Impossible. I mean,
that was
Pierce Brosnan, James Bond. I mean, like he's
Daniel Craig. Look at the money he made on the. That's a movie star.
and
I mean,
speaking
he
of
was
which,
a
now
big
he's
star.
he got
He was
ranked
everywhere.
officer in the Navy.
well, who's going to be the next 007?
They try to say Idris Elba. I would like that.
I
I
would
would,
love to
like
see
to see
that.
that.
I want that guy
That's
from
I can see
Bridgerton.
that.
And he's in a whole lot of
Oh, the
movies.
guy
Reggie
from-
John
The
Page.
dad.
Oh yeah,
He would be good.
Oh, he's so. I mean, he just has that charisma.
It's-
Yeah.
between them.
Yeah.
Now,
I
would
would
you,
love to see
Idris
him.
Elba though.
now,
Well, he's got it too. He's got that swag. That phlegm. That's what Judy Dench
Now-
calls it, phlegm.
Yeah.
now I know they sometimes do this in comic books, like when it comes to sexuality or whatever. But like, would you ever think they would find a character to play James Bond as a female, like just have a female James Bond character, or
Barbara
be,
Broccoli said that this is the daughter of the original creator of the James Bond film, who created the production company that created the James Bond movies. She said that will never happen. She said he'll have to be a man. She said there will be more female characters. His role will be dominated by women, just like it has been since the 90s. That's what M represented. It represented her taking over the Bond franchise. Barbara Broccoli, Cubby Broccoli's daughter. So he's got a female boss. He's got Moneypenny. He has there's another 007 out there who is a woman. There's Paloma. There's all these other female characters. Why can't we just have more female characters? Bond needs to stay Bond.
So I think, and if I did hear this in story, I think the studio that they did James Bond burnt down.
I burnt down.
I don't know.
It was a 007 studio where they. I think it was an old article like recently that it got burnt down and some of the collections were out or whatever. I forgot where I saw it from, but I don't know. That's rumor that was real. It was just one of the two.
I don't know, but I mean, I think that, you know, like I said, they should just create more female parts. I mean, his entire world, like I said, Judi Dench and Moneypenny are kryptonite to him. You know what I mean? And women are kryptonite. Like in the Daniel Craig's version, women are kryptonite to him. They're seen as vulnerabilities. You know what I mean? Because falling in love is dangerous for a secret agent, and he does. And you get to see that kind of vulnerability in him.
So I still need to see the last movie.
Oh, it's so good.
Day to Die.
No Time
to Die.
Yeah.
So let's. I'm gonna get back on track here. Cece, what do you got going on next for you? What's the next big thing?
Next, so I alternate. I do fashion shows, and then I'll play like recitals, concerts, and stuff like that. So, probably Christmas time, I'll have like Christmas shows to do. And I know first of the year.
You sing?
No, I play viola and guitar.
That's the other.
Some piano and stuff.
Well, we have a viola right here. Go ahead and bring it out, Keenan. I'm just kidding. We don't have one.
I'm not ready.
I'll play the kazoo.
She hasn't rehearsed.
I have to have one right here. So you do that, yeah, and then
So that's it. Work a full-time job, and I have other little talents that I'm working on getting back in the mode with. But I was kind of out of commission this year, so we're trying to get back up and running.
Okay, yeah, okay, and then we got when are you going to start working on the next project, Chuck?
I made a deal with everybody that they won't see a script until probably at least April. So I'm going to probably work on the script throughout the holidays, take the holidays off, be with my family. I like doing my writing during the holidays while I'm with my family, because it's just the freedom of not really having a show to not having a show to worry about, and to sit down and actually write and create something during the holidays. You know, it's just a very inspiring time for me. And so after I finish writing, and I'll get together some ideas, and we're thinking about having it in LA.
Oh wow!
In Hollywood.
Wow.
California.
Wow.
California. So that's next. So we got to put together, get a space and all that stuff. So I really probably don't want to start working on that until probably April. So we probably won't have the show until at least maybe late fall, maybe November.
Next fall. Okay.
Not sure. But probably in the fall. During fashion season, definitely, because it just worked out so well this year, because we had our show and then everybody else had their shows going on as well. And then I have a 20-year anniversary coming up in March, and I'm really looking forward to all of that, and I'm gonna have like a big party. Okay, I'd like you to come. I'm gonna invite a bunch of people.
I will definitely be there.
Photography, film industry. Like I said, it's 20 years of me working behind the camera. I'm gonna have all the models. I'm gonna try to have as many people from previous projects as possible, and to have one person from each show get up and talk about the show that we worked on together and stuff like that. And so it'll be one of those I'll be sitting at a table eating. Nothing. There will be nothing going on the stage other than people going on there and talking about the 20 years of us, of all the things that we've created, all the wonderful projects and stuff like that. And then I'm gonna probably give away some awards to the models for this year's production, and then I'll probably go up and accept my Lifetime Achievement Award at the end.
Okay, well there we go.
20 years, I think 20 years of lifetime, huh? Yeah. And then and then after because this will be the final show. This will be the final act of the Maximum Exposure Fashion Series. We're going to create a new series that's going to be 5 seasons long, and it's going to be a 5-year long project, and that's going to lead up to my 25-year jubilee. You know what I mean? And then so that's the way we want to do it. We want our projects to be like 5 years long, so we can build it, and create sort of a whole entire new universe, a whole entire new timeline. And we're gonna go from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
Going down the line.
Well,
absolutely. And then the next one will probably go back to early civilizations, and like Gothic themes and Renaissance and stuff like much more. And we'll be older and more mature. So and I wanted to save those for those more mature years. You know what I mean? I wanted to get a lot of my edgier stuff out in the first 3 or 4 seasons. That's when we got a lot of our edgier stuff out of the way. Now we're into more elegant and, you know, we're going up. You know, each season we take it a step further. So I feel like with this next one, we're finally gonna, you know, let's go to Hollywood. Let's finally take all this talent to Hollywood.
That'd be fun.
Why not? It would be the perfect ending to the show with all those camera flashes and the red carpet and the stars and all that stuff after doing 7 wonderful, glorifying seasons. I mean, like, I really felt it like this was a really good way to stop after this show. I mean, how much further can we go after this?
Way further.
Right, but I mean, with this story, with this series, we can go way further. But I mean, you reach a certain point, you know. I mean, I felt like with this series, I mean, I felt like we've taken it pretty as far as we could. I mean, I felt like it really, you know, it from the Egyptian show to this show, that was really taking it. Wouldn't you say so? I mean, and then compared to the other shows too, and then to take this all the way to Hollywood, and you know, to big, you know, we got to do it now. We got to really do it big. You know what I mean? We just have to do it much grander and much bigger because, you know, we have to live up to our previous.
Yep.
We're in competition with ourselves.
Well, I can see that.
There we go. Well, we're doing a big fashion. We're doing a film fest. So you got me on
copycat.
Wow. We're doing a film fest in January. You're gonna be the first one. You get a VIP pass, Chuck, because I love you. We're doing film fest January 13th and 14th. Now, if people out there watching, there's these other film fests that they're having at bars or whatever. We're doing a film fest at a real theater. Okay, a real theater with real films and real filmmakers coming. Oh, hold on, my wrist is hurting. Anyway, so definitely check out the Moam Film Fest on January 13th to the 15th at the Collins Theater, Miners Theater. So that's a little shout out to them.
It's gonna be a big one, baby.
So definitely check out. We're going to do there's a virtual thing here for this series. So if you were able to go to Nashville and see it, December 13th is the date correct, Chuck? December 13th is going to be virtual, which you can find on thehouseofchuck.com.
Right.
Did I hit that all
sorry,
good?
Sorry, I was putting you in my calendar. My bad.
Yeah,
Yes, the Maximum Exposure Fashion Series returns.
Send it,
The Maximum Exposure Fashion Series returns to House of Chuck magazine on December 13th.
I'm gonna play this trailer one more time because I love it.
Oh, and we got 2 more trailers coming out too.
Oh, okay. But let me play this one again. Oh, fuck. No worry, we'll get it, folks.
Dustin filmed it too.
Oh, good.
I like to keep original. Feels like it's not a show when you do that. When you don't bring back your original.
You definitely feel like comfortable. You know how it goes. They know routine, right?
Well, they know me too. You know what I mean? They know how I work. Because I mean, it's a lot. I mean, I send them a lot of stuff. I mean, as I find stuff, I send it to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pictures, jewelry, everything, every detail. Because it inspires them. It gives them imagination. When they show up to that show, they know exactly what to do. Most of them did. They didn't really ask me a lot of questions other than when they need to go on.
All right.
For real, right?
That's business.
Yeah.
That's business.
They knew, but they knew what they were in for. You know what I mean? They saw all the details.
Well, thank you for coming on the show, Chuck. Thank you, CC. A little clap for you guys there. That's for you guys. Check out this Sunday coming up. Keenan is doing an exclusive interview with myself. I'm going to be talking about AUN and where it's headed, the future of AUN. So we can talk about
Now, are you nervous about that? First off,
no, I'm not nervous at all. So, anyways, that's tune in
watch
Sunday
it.
at 7. So,
I'm gonna watch it.
definitely, we'll see you then. Thank you guys for watching the Daily Dirt with Dustin Diggs, and we will see you again later.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Artists United Network.
I'm about to The Daily Dirt with Dustin Diggs. The Daily Dirt with Dustin Diggs.